Doctor warns you, if you don't have sex when you're old, this will happen to you. Chui, senior health. Have you ever thought, sex is a young thing, and after 60, should I close it quietly? If you've ever thought like that, you're not alone. But the truth is, giving up intimacy is trading your health, your memory, your emotions, and your joy of living. Sex after 60 is not a luxury. It's a natural medicine that helps your heart beat stronger, your mind brighter, your sleep deeper, and your feelings deeper. Why lack of intimacy makes you weaker every day without even realizing it. And more importantly, how to reconnect gently, age appropriately, and meaningfully. And especially at the end of this video, I'll share a truth that many people don't dare to say. What happens if you let your body forget how to love, how to connect, and how to feel yourself? Don't look away, because understanding this can help you regain the intimacy, confidence, and emotion that you've lost over the years. Watch until the end. Who knows, it might just be the beginning of a fuller, happier, more authentic life. Number 1. Poor cardiovascular health. You know, many people think that when they reach old age, intimacy, pillow talk is just a distant memory, something reserved for the passionate years of youth. But in reality, the human body, whether at 60, 70, or beyond, still has very real needs that deserve respect. In particular, sex is not only about emotions, but also about health. The lack of regular physical intimacy causes natural cardiovascular activity to decline. Have you ever noticed that after each time you make love, your heart beats faster, your blood circulates better, and your body feels lighter? That is a sign of a natural cardiovascular exercise, but gentle and full of emotions. When you are no longer intimate, your body loses a beneficial form of exercise. As a result, blood pressure is more likely to increase, blood circulation is poor, and cardiovascular health gradually weakens. A study by the University of Michigan found that older adults who maintain an active sex life tend to have healthier hearts and a significantly lower risk of cardiovascular disease than those who are emotionally isolated. As famous Dr. Christiane Northrup said, sex isn't just about pleasure, it's about health, and it's a vital part of aging well. But then there will come a time when you wonder, I still want sex, but my partner doesn't. What should I do? This is not an uncommon question. Many people secretly hide this loneliness in their hearts because they are afraid of being laughed at, afraid of being misunderstood as old but still wanting sex. But have you thought, maybe it's time for us to have an honest, open, and loving conversation with our partners? Not to demand, but to share that sex in old age is not a selfish need, but a way to maintain an intimate connection, to maintain physical and mental health for both. Have you ever felt that the more physically distant, the distance between two souls gradually becomes farther? The more silent, the more pretending not to need anymore. The lonelier and more disadvantaged we make ourselves than ever. So why not start with a gentle question to the other person? Do you ever miss the feeling of touching each other? Don't forget, old age does not mean withering away, but is a time to enjoy what life has taught us, to love deeper, slower, and more sincerely. Benjamin Franklin once said, "You don't stop playing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop playing." And in love, especially in old age, playing is not just holding hands, but daring to touch again the things we thought were lost, to let the heart beat strongly once more. So what will you choose today? To endure in silence, or to open your heart to live fully once more? Number 2, rapid muscle and joint deterioration. Giving up sex not only robs you of joy, it also silently robs you of muscle strength, joint flexibility, and even your ever more valuable balance. When you stop engaging in physical intimacy, not just sex, but even simple intimate contact, you allow your body to silently shrink. Unstimulated muscles atrophy, inflexible joints stiffen, and your risk of falling skyrockets after just a few months of inactivity. A fall at 65 is not the same as a fall at 30. It can be the beginning of a long line of dependence and pain. As Hippocrates once said, "What is not used is lost." Someone asked, "I have diabetes, heart disease. Should I still have sex?" The answer is not whether, but how. Sex at this age is no longer a high-speed adventure, but a journey of delicate connection, slow love, and mutual care. If you are concerned, talk to your doctor. Most of them will agree that a healthy, moderate, physically fit sex life is not only harmless, but also brings great benefits to the heart, blood pressure, and spirit. As famous Dr. Christiane Northrup once said, sex is an important part of comprehensive healthcare, even in old age. Have you ever thought that being close to your partner not only warms the heart, but also makes you younger? Have you ever noticed that after a hug, a real hand-holding, your mood becomes calmer and your sleep is deeper? That is not a fleeting emotion, but a real physiological response thanks to the hormone oxytocin, the so-called love hormone. It reduces stress, stabilizes blood pressure, and keeps you in a positive frame of mind. So instead of avoiding it, ask yourself, what does my body really need? Am I listening to it or just ignoring the voice of aging? Don't wait until your knees scream in pain or a fall takes away your independence to realize that health and intimacy are two sides of the same coin. Be mindful of your physical and emotional well-being, because as philosopher Sigmund Freud once said, sexual health is the foundation of a healthy life, and you deserve it at any age. Number 3, memory and mental decline. Is it simply a normal part of aging, or is it a silent warning your body's trying to send? When you stop connecting physically, not just sexually but also by understanding and appreciating your body, you may be inadvertently blocking the flow of important hormones like dopamine and oxytocin. These chemicals not only bring happiness, but also protect your memory, alertness, and mental clarity. Without them, you are more likely to fall into a state of forgetfulness, lack of motivation, lack of clarity, even depression. It's time to take a fair look. Sex, or rather connecting with your body, is not a luxury of youth, but an essential part of living a healthy, happy old age. Someone once asked, "I'm single. Should I stay connected to my body?" The answer is, of course. That connection is not just about intimacy with others, but also about how you care for yourself. Listen to the changes. Cherish every vivid feeling in your body, whether through meditation, through movement, or simply by being deeply aware of your own existence. Have you ever noticed that when you feel loved, whether from within or from others, you feel lighter, clearer? That's the effect of oxytocin, the hormone of connection. Without it, the mind becomes cloudy, emotions are difficult to control, and when dopamine, the joy transmitter, is depleted because you are no longer interested in physical feelings, what will help you maintain motivation every day? As psychologist Abraham Maslow once said, a person cannot be considered complete unless he learns to express his whole self, body, and spirit. If you think that age gives you a reason to abandon your need for physical connection, you may be missing out on a valuable part of yourself. So I ask you, not as a preacher, but as a companion on this journey, do you still listen to your body? What do you still feel that makes you alive and joyful every day? Don't let your body's silence become a late cry for help. Nourish yourself with connection, with awareness, with unconditional love starting today. Number 4, emotional disconnection in marriage. Have you ever sat next to your partner but no longer felt close? No longer holding hands every night, no longer looking into each other's eyes full of love, just two people under the same roof, talking like roommates. That is not only a cold feeling, but also a sign of a deep emotional disconnection whose cause sometimes comes from something secret. The interruption in sexual life. Did you know that body communication is a language that words cannot replace? When a couple is no longer physically close, they also gradually lose intimacy, an invisible glue that binds hearts, emotions, and understanding. People often say sex begins in the mind. Sex is not only a physical act, but also a spiritual harmony, a way for both to say, "I'm still here, I still need you." A doctor once shared, I have dryness, erectile dysfunction. Is there any way without medication? This is a common question that many older people ask, but are too shy to ask their partner. In fact, changes in the body are natural, but how we deal with them is really important. There are natural solutions, from adjusting our diet, practicing gentle yoga, meditating to sharing honestly with our partner to find connection again. Sex should not be seen as a duty, but as a sweet reward of love. Have you ever asked yourself, when was the last time I touched the person I love? Not the touch of habit, but the touch of care, of emotional connection. If that question leaves you silent, then maybe it is time to take action. A study from Harvard shows that couples who maintain regular intimacy have significantly higher levels of happiness and health. And as the philosopher Sigmund Freud once said, sex is one of the most powerful creative energies of man. No one is too old to love and be loved. Remember, you don't need medicine to love. You need sincerity, understanding, and a little courage to start over. Because happiness is not about age, but about how we keep the small fire in our hearts. So don't be afraid to put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, do I still want to love that person with all my heart and soul? If the answer is yes, then you have everything you need to reconnect emotionally, starting with yourself. Number 5, insomnia, restless sleep. Many scientific studies have shown that after orgasm, the human body, regardless of age, will secrete hormones that help reduce stress, relax muscles, and put the mind into a state of deep rest. When you lack this, you not only lose sleep but also feel exhausted during the day, mentally sluggish, irritable, and have poor memory. Think about it. How long has it been since you had a good night's sleep, waking up feeling refreshed and full of energy like when you were young? You may be wondering, I'm getting older. Is intimacy still important? The answer is yes, and even more important than ever. Writer George Burns once said humorously but meaningfully, you can't help getting older, but you don't have to get old. Keeping your body touched, loved, and emotionally connected is an important part of maintaining a youthful spirit and healthy body. I'm not just talking about sex, physical contact, hugging, holding hands. Even just a warm gaze can calm the mind and help you fall asleep more easily. When the hormone oxytocin is released, it helps slow your heart rate, reduce anxiety, and make you feel safe, a key factor in entering deep sleep. So instead of seeing intimacy as a luxury or unnecessary in old age, see it as part of a healthy lifestyle, just like eating well or exercising daily. Renowned physician Christiane Northrup once said, pleasure is not a luxury, it's a birthright. Pleasure is not a luxury, it's a birthright. Are you giving up that right every night by wallowing in loneliness and sleeplessness? It's time to ask yourself, am I taking care of my emotional and physical well-being? Don't wait for your body to start screaming in exhaustion before you listen. Try reconnecting with your partner, with yourself, with small acts of love. It could be a hug before bed, a gentle conversation, or even a whisper, I still need love. Because good sleep doesn't come from sleeping pills. It comes from a warm heart and a respected body. Number 6, decreased self-confidence and self-image. Feeling loved is not just a beautiful emotion, it is the thread that keeps you connected to your own self-worth. When it disappears, confidence gradually retreats, replaced by a feeling of inferiority, silence, and withdrawal. Have you ever wondered why many elderly people become quiet and passive? It is not because they no longer have energy, but because inside them, there is an emotional hunger that has never been named. Physical and emotional connection is a core part that helps us feel that we are still valuable, still worthy of love. Without that, we begin to doubt ourselves. Am I still attractive? Am I still important to someone? These questions are not just passing thoughts, but urgent calls from a heart that needs to be recognized. Don't forget, as psychologist Abraham Maslow once said, love and belonging are basic human needs. When we are deprived of that feeling, we lose a part of ourselves. And the danger is, loneliness in old age doesn't just hurt our mental health, it also damages our physical health. Research has shown that isolation and lack of emotional connection can increase the risk of heart disease, depression, and even shorten our lifespan. Are you listening to your body and your heart? Are you withdrawing from yourself out of fear of rejection or thinking, I'm too old to love anymore? That's a regrettable thought. Love has no expiration date, and you don't have to endure feeling invisible any longer. Be brave enough to look in the mirror, not to see an age, but to see a person worthy of love, of touch, of whispering sweet nothings. As philosopher Carl Jung once said, we do not grow old by years, but by abandoning our ideals. Don't let silence kill a part of you. Be proactive about your feelings, open up to your partner, or even to yourself. Intimacy is more than just physical. It's the embrace of understanding, the holding of a hand. If you're feeling lost today, let this be a reminder that you're not alone. Maybe what you need isn't a miracle, but just an honest conversation, a loving look, and a longer hug. Are you loving yourself enough? And if not, what can you do to start again today? Number 7, immunodeficiency. That the body is aging, so intimacy is something to be left behind? If you believe that, stop for a moment and ask yourself, what's really happening inside my body when I stop connecting physically? The answer may surprise you, because the truth is, when you stop having sex, your immune system may be silently weakening every day. Studies have shown that older adults who are sexually active maintain higher levels of the antibody IgA, which acts as a strong shield against colds, infections, and a host of other diseases. Conversely, when you stop touching life through healthy physical contact, this natural defense begins to thin. You may start to notice yourself catching colds more often, experiencing unexplained fatigue, or even experiencing insomnia or mild depression that you can't put your finger on. It's not getting old, it's losing connection. Sex is more than just pleasure. It's medicine for the nervous system, the immune system, and the emotional heart. Psychologist Abraham Maslow once said, "The basic human needs must be met in order to reach full development. Sex is one of those needs. When suppressed, dismissed, or overlooked, the body is not only lacking biologically, but also emotionally, something invisible that can have a profound impact on overall health." Have you ever felt like you're healthy but still missing something? Maybe you're missing touch, intimacy, a timely hug, or a private moment that makes you feel alive. Sex in old age doesn't have to be as intense as it was in your youth. Sometimes it's just a form of love, a kiss, a touch, a minute of intimate whispering. That's enough to awaken dormant emotional areas. A study from Wilkes University in the US found that people who have sex regularly, 1 to 2 times a week, have up to 30% higher levels of IgA than those who don't. Did you know this before? And if you did, would you think differently about old age sex? As Dr. Christiane Northrup says, sex is not only about physical health, but also mental and emotional health. It helps people feel connected, alive. So don't let shyness, social prejudice, or fear of aging make you lose one of the most natural tools to protect and restore your health. You can start over. An open conversation with your partner, a gentle exploration of your body, or simply allowing yourself to feel and not judge the desires that whisper inside. Because your health lies not only in the pill, but also in the moments when you allow yourself to connect, love, and live in accordance with your true needs. So which way do you choose? To live a life of quiet or to live fully, connected, and protect your health from things that seem old? Number 8, increase stress and anxiety silently. Many people think this is just a sign of aging, but the truth may be deeper. When the body no longer maintains regular physical connections, one of the most insidious but dangerous consequences is a lack of calming hormones like oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins, the natural sedatives that the body used to produce when we were young. Without them, we are more likely to fall into a state of chronic stress, prolonged anxiety, and even depression without realizing it. Have you ever wondered why more and more older people are living in loneliness and an inexplicable feeling of emptiness? Maybe they are not just missing a companion, but also physical touch, which releases positive energy and heals emotions. Psychologist Abraham Maslow once said, "The need for love and closeness is one of the most basic and profound human needs. When that need is suppressed or neglected, the consequences go beyond emotions, affecting the immune system, blood pressure, and cardiovascular health." Some people think that after a certain age, intimacy is no longer important. But is that really the case? Have you ever wondered what would happen if you continued to live another 20 to 30 years, but lived in a state of disconnection, stress, and emptiness? Instead of just living long, you can live deeply with joy, connection, and peace of mind, only when you dare to consciously acknowledge and care for your emotional and physical needs. Maintaining physical closeness, whether through holding hands, hugging, or intimacy in marriage, is not just a luxury, but an indispensable part of your body's ability to release chemicals that help you relax, feel happy, and feel truly alive. Dr. Helen Fisher, a neurologist, once shared, "Touch is a biological need. Without it, the body slowly withers." This statement is not only biologically true, but also reminds us of something important. Emotions, love, and connection are the most powerful medicines, no matter how old you are. So the question for you is, have you listened to your body and heart lately? Don't wait until your mind is in turmoil and your body is screaming from loneliness to start taking care of the most vulnerable part of you. It's not because of old age that we stop loving. It's because we stop loving that old age becomes scary. Number 9, emotional rift. Invisible distance. One day you realize that it's been a long time since you two hugged each other every night, no longer stroked each other's hair, no longer held hands when walking. There was no big argument, no one else intervened, but there was still an invisible distance between the two of you. It was a kind of silent rift, and the scariest. Did you know that the loss of intimate touch, like a hug, a kiss, or simply a light touch, can make a relationship gradually cool, even if the love is still there? The human body is programmed to respond to the feeling of touch. It is not only a physical need, but also a way to feel connected, the presence of the other person in life. Without this, the feeling of loneliness will silently grow, even if your partner is still by your side every day. Have you ever heard the French philosopher Simone Weil say, "We cannot know we are loved without signs of attention"? Touch is one of the most powerful signs. It is the nonverbal language of love. When it disappears, we lose not only an action, but also the feeling of being cared for and loved. The problem is, many people think that physical intimacy is no longer important as they age. They think that old age is the time to let go of that need. But the opposite is true. According to research from the University of Chicago, physical intimacy in old age not only maintains marital happiness, but also improves physical and mental health. Giving up intimacy, even small acts like stroking hair, hugging, or leaning on each other while watching TV, can make people feel rejected and abandoned in their own homes. So are you unintentionally letting your relationship fall into a state of close yet distant? How long has it been since you took the initiative to hug your partner, just to say, "I'm still here"? Love is not lost because of the lack of affection, but because we no longer express it. Try something simple today. Hold your spouse's hand while you both sit and watch TV. Don't wait until you have to remember that feeling to realize it's gone. As psychologist Virginia Satir once said, "We need 4 hugs a day to survive, 8 hugs to maintain, and 12 hugs to grow." Don't let silence and distance kill a love that is still intact. Emotions need to be nurtured, and sometimes just a light touch is enough to revive a cold heart. So will you choose to start over with a hug or continue to let that invisible distance grow every day?